Today we're going to make a really rich chocolate cake. The frosting is not your buttercream frosting. It's a nice ganache, which is just 2 bags of chocolate chips melted with 3 cups of heated cream. That'll be the frosting. But the cake is 4 layers. 4 layers of, so 4 cake pans we'll need tonight. So this is technically a really big chocolate cake or 2 cakes. So if you want to, you can take this recipe and make a surprise someone with a really big cake, or you can cut the recipe in half and make a regular size 2-layer. Butter. Instead of dusting them with flour, we're going to dust them with cocoa powder. We have 4 cups of flour with 4 cups of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a cup of cocoa powder, or 8 tablespoons, 8 heaping tablespoons, but it equals a cup. While we're preparing all of this, we are melting down 4 sticks of butter, or you can do 2 sticks of butter and a cup of shortening. But again, it's 4 sticks of butter, or you can do 2 sticks of butter and a whole stick, which is a cup of shortening. We're melting it down, and while that is melting down, we have heated up some water, which we're going to mix with some coffee, because chocolate with coffee instead of water gives a much richer chocolate taste. You does not take a coffee flavored of the cake. The coffee actually enriches the chocolate flavor, especially when it's cocoa powder. But once the butter has melted, we're going to mix in the cocoa powder, and it's bubbling over here. 2 teaspoons of baking soda, which we're going to mix with 4 eggs and a cup of buttermilk. Again, if you do not have buttermilk, I always have yogurt in the house. You're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or you can use a nice coffee liqueur or any type of flavored liqueur if you do not have vanilla extract. 2 teaspoons of a lovely hazelnut liqueur, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or a nice liqueur, a half a teaspoon of salt mixed with 4 cups of flour and 4 cups of sugar. The cup of cocoa will go into the melted butter, which is 4 sticks of butter, or 2 sticks of butter with 1 stick of shortening, which is a cup. We're going to beat here the buttermilk and 4 eggs. 4 cups of flour, 4 cups of sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt. Mix that here. In here you got your cup of buttermilk or yogurt. I use low-fat yogurt. 4 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or your coffee liqueur, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 4 pans with butter. And instead of putting flour to dust it, as you see here, instead of putting flour to dust it and getting a white cake, we will use the cocoa powder. I'm going to add, so this is our melted butter. The butter is 4 sticks of butter, or again, okay, you need an equivalent of 4 sticks of butter. So 1 stick of shortening is 2 sticks of butter plus 2 sticks of butter. So this is what I have: 2 sticks of butter plus 1 entire stick of shortening, which is 2 sticks of butter. 2 cups of melted goodness. 2 cups of boiling water, which we mixed in some instant coffee, because coffee helps enrich the flavor of chocolate. It does not make the cake taste like coffee. It actually makes it a richer tasting cake. So we've melted down the butter, we've added our cocoa, now we're adding 2 cups of boiling water, which actually has been mixed with some instant coffee, or you can heat up some brewed coffee, but it has to be 2 cups of it that has boiled. We're going to add it here and bring this to a boil for 30 seconds. And once this has boiled for another 30 seconds, we're going to add it to our flour sugar mixture. So we're letting the cocoa and hot water or hot coffee come back to a boil for approximately 30 seconds, and then we're going to add it to our flour sugar mixture. Remember, it's 4 cups of flour. I always use unbleached flour, and 4 cups of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. Your baking soda is with your wet mixture. An industrial strength mixer, have at it, but I need a big bowl. So, a recap. While you prepare your pans, we have been melting the 4 sticks of butter. I've used 2 sticks with 2 sticks of shortening, which is an equivalent of 2 cups. They melted down. We added in 8 heaping tablespoons of cocoa, which is an equivalent of a cup. And then we added 2 cups of boiling water, which was actually 2 cups of boiling coffee. And we're going to bring it to a boil for 30 seconds. Shut it off, mix it with our 4 cups of flour, 4 cups of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Once this has been mixed with that, we will fold in our 4 eggs, a cup of buttermilk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And put it in our pans, bake it for half an hour until a toothpick comes out clean. Once all this is said and done, we will do the frosting, decorate the cake. This has boiled for an extra 30 seconds. I'm going to pour it in here. Now we mix it in here, and we're going to go in a circular motion. Remember, if you have an industrial pan, more power to you. So we're going to blend this really well. And then we will add the butter mixture. You don't want to add the buttermilk mixture into this now, or it'll cook. It'll curdle it because this is hot. Okay. Now that we got that going, slowly add your next thing because you don't want it to cook. This is your buttermilk and your eggs. And we're slowly tempering, as you would do most egg mixtures. You want it to curdle, or it'll be a scrambled egg chocolate cake. Fold this all well, and then we're going to divide it up. Use your whisk one more time to get this really fold it in, bring it into a circular motion. Again, if you have to get it all mixed together. Get your spatula down in the bowl, make sure everything has been folded in. Ready? And we pour in your prepared pans. The pans have been buttered or oiled, whatever you want to do, with some cocoa powder instead of flour. In the oven. Give it a little shake and shimmer to even up the load. And the pan's ready to go in the oven, 350, 20 minutes until the cake tester comes out clean. We'll see you later when we do the frosting. So, our cakes have baked for 20 minutes and a cake tester or toothpick came out clean. So we have 4 cakes and we're going to decorate them. We're going to decorate them with a ganache. Chocolate ganache is 24 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. I used 2 bags of dark chocolate chips and 3 cups of heavy cream, which you can see over here above my head. It is 3 cups of heavy cream that we have heated until it almost boils, comes to a nice froth. Then you're going to pour the heavy cream on your 24 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Let it set. You're going to whisk it until it comes up so all the chips melt and are smooth. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or you can use the same coffee liqueur that you used on your cake. And then you're going to let it cool. First cool it before you put it in the refrigerator, because it's too hot to put in the refrigerator. You let it cool, and as you can see, it has set. It's nice. We're going to now put it in our beater to beat it, to get it to change the color. When your chocolate ganache sets, it's still a dark chocolate, because this is dark chocolate. Semi-sweet is like a dark chocolate. And it is this color. Once we start beating it, the color will change to like a milk chocolate color consistency, and it'll be thick. And then we will layer each cake with a good dollop in the center, and then layer it, and then finish off the cake. So let's do that. As you can see, it's nice and it's pourable, but it's thick right now. And when we beat it, it'll get thick as if it was a frosting, like a buttercream frosting. It'll thicken up that way. Good thing about this is it's not that super sweet buttercream frosting type of frosting. I mean, I like buttercream frosting, but sometimes I find it too sweet. As you can see here, it now looks like thick whipped cream, and the color has changed. So we've whisked it. Now remember, look at that. Nice and thick and juicy. Remember, when you make this, you melt the chocolate, you let it cool, and you refrigerate it. I did it this morning. I had let it set for, probably more than 5 hours. And now it's ready to, and then it was ready for me to whisk it, which it is. And if you notice the consistency, since it is whipped cream, it's almost like chocolate butter. It's so good. So now we're ready to layer the cakes. Remember, when we're making this, the heavy cream is very hot. We poured it over our 24 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, which is like a dark chocolate. You can use chips. And we let it set, and we whisked it until everything was melted, and we put 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or your favorite coffee liqueur. After we whisked it and let it cool down, because you never put anything hot in the fridge or it'll raise the temperature in the fridge. Once it's cooled down room temperature, I stuck it in the fridge for more than 4 hours until it set. As you saw, it almost looked like a pudding. Once it's that nice set cooled milk, we whisked it, and it almost looks like chocolate butter. It's just beautiful. Now we're going to layer the cakes. Remember, the cakes have cooked for 350 for 20 minutes or so until a cake tester or toothpick comes out clean. I make this cake a lot. Everyone loves it. They love it because I think the size impresses them. It's also very dense and very moist. Now remember, you can make this recipe in half and just have a 2-layer cake, and then you can even be more adventurous and layer each of these cakes and make it, instead of a 4, it could be an 8-layer cake with the frosting in between. But I would suggest making more frosting because that tends to take more. I'm going to put a nice dollop in the center. Spatula helps. A Lazy Susan helps. It's a very rich cake. And I tell you this, you will enjoy it. Now we take the chocolate from on top and fill in the cracks. And then the leftover of the frosting we'll put to make it pretty. Well, there you have it. A well-frosted cake. There you have it. A well-frosted. I mean, look at it. Bigger than my head. It's 4 layers of cake. You can cut this recipe in half. It's simple, delicious, a quick cake to make. Enjoy. Buen provecho.